Hello and welcome to the Rugby Championship review brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, your best pleasure predictions and opinion. So we had two games at the weekend, obviously. New Zealand beating Australia 40-12 and Argentina beating South Africa 32-19. So that first one, obviously, kind of what we were expecting. Again, I guess on the whole, it's kind of and it's led to a whole bunch of opinion pieces and articles and people just sort of saying, is the All Blacks dominance becoming too much? Have people had enough of it? And I guess to a certain degree, yes, we are getting that way, to be honest. But also, you do have to appreciate the skill and the brilliance of the team at the moment. They are dominating very well. But it was in the first half, heading up towards half-time, it was 7-7 until the All Blacks do what the All Blacks do, which is score either side of half-time, and suddenly that was it. The game just blew wide open. And I think it was probably at about 28-7 that I basically sent out and said, yeah, look, that's it. It's all over. We might as well go home now. And I got some response. I mean, I think most people generally agreed with it, but I got one person in particular coming back saying, look, I was being too hasty. And I said, look, it's a three-score difference. If they get back within a score, cool, I understand it. But otherwise, look, it is all over. And they weren't buying it. They were just, look, have to agree to disagree. And I guess we will do. But to me, at that point, yeah, it had all. Once we got those couple of tries after half time, that was it. It was all over. From an Australian point of view, their set piece stood up a lot better. This one, they lost two lineouts, whereas last time, they lost like 2/3 of lineouts. It was a disgrace. So a much better performance from them. 10 scrums. We did have that repacking of scrums at one point, but the All Blacks managed to get away without picking up a yellow card from that. And in the end, it was only 9 penalties each, to be fair. The tackling was probably one of the things in Australia, 72% tackling, which is definitely not up to it at this level. But the amount the All Blacks move the ball around is quite astonishing. 230 passes compared to 188 by the Wallabies. So that's an extra 40 passes, or 42 passes to be precise, for only an extra 20 runs. So 167 runs to 145 by the Aussies. So the amount of passing, the amount of movement they're getting for their tries, the complexity of that play is much higher. If we compare that to something like Argentina, for example, 98 passes for 91 runs. Pretty much 1 for 1. This very rarely goes beyond 1 out, which gives you an idea. There's some very contrast. We're going to have some very contrasting styles in a couple of weeks when the All Blacks take on the Pumas in Nelson, unless Argentina change their styles dramatically. 808 metres run with ball by the All Blacks. That's a crazy amount. That's more than some games have in total. The Australia 504. This is a very open. There was a lot of running in this game. As I say, it's pretty even up until half time, and then suddenly Beauden Barrett found a gap and just went through. It's as with all these things, the ability for the All Blacks to counter-attack is something crazy. It's an amazing ability, and they're so clinical with it, to be honest. So yes, a great play by the All Blacks as usual. Hi Matthew in the live chat. Thanks for joining us. Embarrassed by South Africa. Yes, we will get on to that in a second. We'll go through the Bledisloe Cup one first. And of course, that means now that the All Blacks do retain the Bledisloe Cup again, rather comfortably after that. So I'm not really sure what actually, we should probably pull up some stats. I mean, Bowden Barrett obviously was fantastic with his tries, 147 metres running, just 2 less than his brother. And when you think that, I mean, Dame Helmut Petty with 99 on the Australian side came in, was next up. But Goodhue, I mean, relatively quiet, only 45 metres carrying, didn't sort of break in the same way that sort of Naholo, Smith, Lamapi did, but another good game from Goodhue. And yeah, it's hard to find anyone who had actually a particularly, on the All Blacks side, had a bad game, let's be honest. On the defending side of things, Goodhue actually made 2 tackles, missed 3. So perhaps there'll be some question marks around that. Last week he was one of the top tacklers. So clearly he's had an off day. Kieran Reid, 21 tackles, crazy amount of work that guy gets through. Barrett and Ben Smith devastating. Yes, a mature performance by Lamapi. Oh yeah, quiet performance by Lamapi. I thought I didn't kind of have the impact that we've seen him have previously. On the other side, Pocock, 18 tackles, none missed, and he is a fantastic player for the Wallabies. Unfortunately, they don't have 15 of him. Really, Lukentui got through some ball carrying, but unfortunately, there's definitely some question marks over his running style. Whether he carries it too high and goes too high into contact. We need to see that to be improved. I thought Will Gaynor in this game was a bit slow getting the ball away. So we were looking up and being careful, making sure people were there. And he needs to have the faith and rely on the fact that people will be there and get that ball away quicker. You do need to have fast ball at international level if you're going to be breaking down these very well set defences. I thought Maddox had a quiet game, but he got through 14 runs, which is one of the highest number of carries for Australia. But you didn't see this. But as I say, we didn't seem to hear him very much in his first start for the Wallabies in this game. So yeah, we've seen it before. We'll probably see it again. We just got to say yes, congratulations to Bowden Barrett for his 4 tries he got in that game. Obviously, had 1 disallowed as well. So yeah, fantastic player. And at the time when people were suggesting that that Rich Moran should start ahead of him, I thought it was a bit of a joke. And yeah, he's gone to show that he is the best in the world in that position, and that he deserves a jersey and should hold on to it. Argentina versus South Africa. I watch this at 7 o'clock in the morning over here in New Zealand time, so yes, I've got to say my memories might not be perfect on this one, but yes, just the intensity and the level from Argentina really was impressive. I mean, they only had 39% possession, 34% territory, and yet scored 32 points. They made 400 metres with ball in hand from only 91 runs, whereas the Springboks, 578 metres, so 170 metres more, but they also had to make another 70 or nearly 80 runs more. 169 runs. So to achieve that, so there is it was some very direct play, but some very but it worked definitely by the Pumas. 20 lineouts for the Springboks. Yeah, quite a bit of kicking by Argentina. But when you've only got 34% of territory, you're exiting quite a lot. There's a lot of those exit kicks, and a lot of going to give up a lot of those things. Again, we look at some of the stats: 2 offloads by Argentina to 18 by South Africa. Just shows you how direct a game the Pumas are playing currently. But when you're playing that kind of game, the opposition have to front up and tackle, and South Africa didn't. 58 tackles out of 90, 64% tackle success rate. That is abysmal. And no wonder South Africa were lost this game. And let's just do some naming and shaming on that defending side of things, because that really is where the problems lied in this one. And as I say, they played very direct, and so you'd expect Mostert 8 tackles, 3 missed, Lowe 10 tackles, 4 missed, Khaleesi 10 tackles, 3 missed, Whiteley 7 tackles, none missed. Marks missed 3 as well. So yes, a lot of it. Detroit, who came on, missed 3 as well. So yeah, and there's a comment there saying that the wingers for South Africa have been poor in defence, and it's short, but they weren't really asked to make that many tackles. Dante only had to make 1, and he missed it, to be fair. Mamepi made the only tackle he had to make, but most of it was up the guts and through those forwards is where most of the running was, and where most of the tackles came from. On the penalty count, though, Matera, 4 penalties given away for him. That's we sometimes talk about flankers playing on the edge, but 4 is just way too many to be giving away in a test match. The Mamepi hardly got any opportunities. Dante, who's been great, got a couple, but yes, that was but he didn't manage to. I think managed to do enough. Actually, Khaleesi topped the meters made for South Africa, which probably tells you a story that the backs didn't really get the ball that they wanted. If we look on the other side of things, Buffelli and Delgi both hit 60 meters, but that's with obviously with kick returns included in there, whereas a lot of the runs, as I say, were by the forwards. I mean, Kremer got through 8, Desio 9 carries, Creevy 7 carries, Sanchez with 10 as well, actually, but a lot of it was pretty up the front there. So yes, the other point Sanchez really has grown as a player. It's kind of about a season ago or two. I thought he really needed Hernandez outside him, and that he basically, especially at international level, looked a bit lost without Hernandez there. But now he has become. But so with Hernandez's retirement and his growth, they don't seem to miss him so much, and he got the full range of ways to score. With a try, conversion, drop goal in the first, and even a penalty in the first half. So got the full house there. A rare drop goal, we don't see many of those. It was fun, nice to see that. And at 27-7 up at half time, Etzbeth obviously getting that yellow card as well. With only 1 try when he was off, South Africa did pretty well. But again, 27-7 up, got a quick try after half time, and then basically saw the game out after that, defending very well. As we say, they really didn't have much territory or possession, but they did enough with it and were clinical enough to get the points on the board, and use that scoreboard pressure against South Africa, who then had to try and play catch up, and clearly couldn't do so. There's been a lot of people sort of calling out certain players in South Africa, like, well, look, they were good enough last weekend, and everyone was praising them. This weekend, they haven't suddenly become bad players overnight. They've just had a poor game, and they do need to improve that consistency at this kind of level. But yeah, we've got to have. So they're not as good as they were before, but they're also not as bad as I think people are making them out to be either. So there you go. That's my review of the weekend. As I say, I didn't get to take notes because I was up in Hamilton flats hunting. So one was watched in the bar, and the other one was watched in the early hours. But please do let me know your thoughts down below. Always up for good old rugby chat. And I'll be back on in a few minutes with my wrap up of the Mitre 10 Cup.